Would you say brand identity was a focal point throughout the construction of your product as they developed from your draft?
The brand identity of our products has always been a focal and important part of our project from the beginning, to be honest. We hadn't thought about our brand identity much until we had to do the pitch in front of the class, so obviously present how brand identity was going to be displayed in all three of our products. But yeah, it was good, I guess.
What did you gain back from the pitch that could help develop your ideas prior to your previous draft?
We gained feedback from the class and the teacher, which helped us kind of see their point of view. And obviously with the feedback from the class, they were kind of our target audience age range as well, which helped a lot. They also asked questions which challenged us and our ideas a lot more. Although we were challenged, it encouraged us to push our ideas further, so we kind of thought more about our ideas, how we could produce them, make them better, kind of target the audience in a more specified way.
How can brand identity be identified within your product?
The colour scheme is probably a big part of brand identity. It's used throughout our digipack. So the digipack is natural with feminine colours such as greens, blues, reds, pinks. This is consistent throughout all three products. We see the same colour scheme used throughout the webpage digipack, and we also see it in the music video with our costumes, makeup and the location we've chosen to film it in. So this kind of does show the brand identity of all three products and how they're all linked in together, but I think the colour scheme is probably the biggest out of all of our brand identity. Did you use just one costume throughout all the products? No. We used different ones. We did use quite a few. We took the pictures for the digipack. We took the pictures for the digipack at a different time to film in the music video, but we used the same location. So yeah, we did use different costumes, but they weren't too different. They had the same colours and stuff, so they did all kind of link in. How did your drafts impact the final product? Were they the same or similar? The combination of our final products to our first draft contrasts largely. I mean, our ancillary products have gone through many changes. However, these were all due to problems and obstacles we faced throughout the construction of our products. What obstacles did you face, and how did this impact your progression in the development of your final product? The final digipack hasn't changed drastically. From the first draft that we produced. I mean, we originally planned to choose an actual setting, an actual location, which we still did. We still proceeded to do. However, our artist changed, as our original artist wasn't able to feature on our music video and wasn't able to take pictures for the digipack or the webpage, so that didn't really work out for us. So the face on the digipack did change overall, but didn't really impact our digipack that much. I mean, this person we used was still brunette, still kept the same costume and makeup ideas that we originally planned to use, so it didn't really impact it at all. But it did. The artist we chose to use in the end did still represent an artist of our genre accurately. Did the location change, or did you use the location you originally planned? The location we planned to use to take the images for our digipack changed as we weren't able to gain permission to use Windlesham because it's private land. I mean, the only reason we're going to use it because the artist that was originally going to use lives there, so it would have been easy to do that. However, we did gain permission to use Brookwood Country Park, which we filmed a few shots in. It's a similar location as well because they're both out in nature. It's an outside location. The location we used in the end for the final digipack to take pictures was Virginia Waters, just because it's obviously a beautiful setting, it's outside, so it kind of worked well with the genre and what we were trying to put across to the audience about the music we were trying to sell. However, putting all that aside, the digipack still combines well with the ancillary product we originally produced, so obviously the drafts that we first said we were going to use this location, this location, this location, we changed. But the locations that we did get access to are all kind of similar in their own way, so it didn't really affect us at all, to be honest. Did you change anything else from the draft ideas during the construction of your final product? The camera work we used on the final product is also similar to the ancillary, the drafts we produced. But the direct shots were used a lot through the images. The artists making eye contact with the camera made the digipack personal. However, we also did include indirect shots, which were natural, showing the artist's natural and honest personality. So this did give a kind of a raw glimpse into the genre of music we were trying to sell. It kind of represented as well the artist is laid back and relaxed, which also connotes that the music is of a similar attitude and sound. So it kind of gives off that kind of vibe, if you know what I mean.
Overall, do you think that the drafting worked in order to construct your digipack?
Yeah. The location, mise-en-scene and camera shots of the final digipack are all similar to the first drafts that we did. Therefore, the planning and research we conducted throughout the project proved to have been effective through the construction of our digipack. Although we have had complication and obstacles throughout, obviously, from the first draft to the final product, we faced them as a group, and we didn't really let them set us back, to be honest. We kind of took every opportunity we could, turned it into something positive, and used that to obviously produce our music video, digipack and webpage. So I think it was effective. The digipack that we used targeted the audience and best suits the demands that we researched in the first place.
How did your webpage drafts work throughout the construction of your project?
The final webpage that we produced uses some similar conventions that we included in our first draft webpage. However, due to finding it better suited templates on Wix.com, we did change the layout. But we did do some obviously research through the drafting stages of our project, and one question we asked in SurveyMonkey was about what tabs would you expect to see on a webpage for your artist, and they all got the chance to put in what they thought, and we've used and combined those ideas all into the webpage, so hopefully the target audience will be happy with what we've done. The genre of our chosen music is easily identified through the use of the colour, images, the layout, and I think that it's all worked pretty well together, and the camera shots especially as well on the webpage. So yeah.
Did you use the colour scheme and was it successful?
The colour scheme used on our final webpage is similar and pretty much the same as the colour scheme used on the digipack. I mean, the colour scheme makes clear connotations about the genre of the music we've chosen to use, representing the genre clearly. I mean, the pink text connotes it's obviously a poppy and that the artist is feminine and a woman, which is quite stereotypical, but we're going for the stereotypical kind of thing to draw in the target audience that we wanted. But we did look at existing artists such as Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, like looking at their kind of webpage, how it's all laid out, the colours they've used, kind of drawing their specified target audience, so that we could do the same thing, and I think it did work out quite successful.
Did you use the research from the first drafts in your final products, and what did you include?
We've used some of the same conventions, such as tour dates on the homepage, which we included in the first draft. The camera shots we used were mid shots and long shots. Direct shots we used often to create intimate and personal images so that the audience could connect with the artist. But we did use indirect shots as well to kind of show the natural personality of the artist, show that she's laid back, show that it's kind of a raw album. It's all stripped back and it's all like personal emotions felt throughout all the lyrics, and that's what the artist wanted us to do. So I think we've done a good job with that. As well, the shots that we use for the digipack create brand identity, because the same ones are used obviously on the webpage as well, so that kind of works well together. However, the location and the artist's face has changed from our first drafts due to complications which are obviously discussed. But yeah, other than that, I think that we have kind of, from our first drafts and our final products, we kind of have used similar conventions and included the same things throughout.
You said that you have created brand identity. Is this consistent throughout the webpage?
The colour schemes we used link with both of the other products. I mean, similar images are used on the webpage and digipack. These images have been taken in the film and location, and therefore this shows brand identity consistently throughout all three products on the webpage. So like all the other products as well, so yeah.
So like all the other products I've asked you about, is the combination between your final music video and your first draft similar?
The first draft of our music video changed a lot in comparison to the final music video we did produce. But the changes weren't any fault of our own as a group. It was obviously down to the complications which pushed us to change the artist, the film locations and the song. So it was kind of like, we planned it all in our first draft, got into the construction side of things where we're producing everything, bringing everything together, and we literally just got shattered down. We had to replan everything, had to change the song, change the artist, change the locations, and it was quite stressful, but we did take it on as a group and we did end up producing a good product, I think. The artist we were going to use wasn't available, which wasn't our problem. We shouldn't deliberately bail out on us, but we did end up using someone from our group, which worked out a lot easier. So although it was a setback, and it wasn't what we first planned in our first draft, it did kind of work in our favour towards the end, because it was a lot easier to find time to film and kind of connect with each other, because we all knew each other in the group as well, so it was a lot easier to film. But after the original artist didn't want to be in it, she took the song down, so I had to change the song as well. But we chose Jessie J Getaway, which was a decision made between the two of us. But we did consult the others afterwards. They agreed with us, and we agreed that we could connect with the song better as a whole. Think of dance routines for it, film in the studio, film Virginia Waters, film at Brook Country Park, and put it all together and create something really good. And that's what we ended up doing in the end, and I think it did work out well. Although we didn't have the correct film locations from our first drafts, everything worked together, to be honest, and I think, yeah, it has worked out good.
How did your camera work differ from your first draft to your final product?
The camera shots we used varied. I mean, we used a lot of long shots whilst also using mid shots as well, but the opening of the music video consists of like an extreme long shot of Virginia Water Lake. And I think that with the music that introduces the song, it kind of works really well. Like the way that we've paced it, the tracking's all smooth, and I think that's a good shot to kind of show the skills that our tracking is improving. We also used transitions when we were editing it, so it was a fade in, fade out, so we had her walking towards the camera, and then I had a panning shot from her feet up, but we kind of faded them in together, so it kind of showed that we had different skills in our editing, and that we were producing it effectively. Virginia Waters represents freedom and space, whereas the dance studio kind of represented like that she was captive in this area of like darkness, and she just wanted to get away. We didn't end up using the dance studio in the end because I think it contrasted too much, so I didn't really want to use it. But in my mind at first, I wanted to use obviously a dark area which is enclosed, and then in contrast, because the song's called Get Away, she wanted to get away, put her as well into like the freedom of Virginia Waters where she's out in the open, and I thought that would have worked really well, but it didn't end up working well in the end. But yeah, the mise en scene such as costume, makeup and hair has all stayed the same throughout all three products, which works well as it follows the colour scheme as well, which we first decided in our first drafts. So this represents brand identity throughout all three products. So to be honest, I think that although the camera work's different, we have obviously brought back the brand identity as well as the costume mise en scene, and it's all worked out quite well.
Overall, how do you think the final product worked and combined with your first draft?
Overall, we have faced many difficulties as a group, but we've all took these changes and obstacles and kind of made them something positive, which we've all benefited out of. I mean, it's been hard, obviously changing everything, but we have made it all right. To be honest, our first drafts are nothing to what we thought we were going to produce. We thought it was going to be easy. We thought this was going to be something that we'd know what we wanted to do from the beginning. But obviously, with all the complications, we had to change everything. So, and the planning, the research as well, kind of helped us. But at the same time, it drew us back a bit because we were getting feedback from all these digipacks that we'd made, and then we had to just be thrown into the deep end and produce a digipack without any research, and we couldn't really get research last minute because it was all just left to the last minute. But I think throughout, from our first drafts, we've showed effective planning and construction, and the final products that we've made have had elements of our first drafts in, and I think, yeah, it's all worked out pretty well, to be honest.